We're live. What's happening, y'all? Welcome. This is Creatia Comics. We're back again. I'm your host, Lord Cussalott Travis Pointer, aka the Dragon King, aka Big T, aka T Money, aka Sweet T, aka Black Merlin, aka the HNIC. And I'm joined once again, as always, by my co-host Mara the Shark Watkins.
Hello.
How are you doing this lovely evening, Mara?
I'm okay. It's hot.
Really?
It's unusually hot for me this time of year. Well, for it being November.
Interesting.
I mean, it was like, I don't know. I mean, someone was telling me it's like third summer, and I was like, okay, that's cool, but like it's very confusing when it's 40 degrees one day and then it's almost damn near 70 a couple days later. So
okay, so that's what you mean by hot. Got you. Yeah.
Like,
see, I was actually just saying it was either yesterday or today. It was probably yesterday because I probably wasn't thinking that today. But yesterday when we went out, I was just like, almost time to pull out the hoodies. So
yeah, pulled out my parka and then swiftly have been sweating for consecutive days since.
mm-hmm. Well, you know, it's the difference between New York and Texas.
This is true.
Yeah. But yeah, we're not here to talk about the weather though. We're here to talk about, various comic book shows and, what's going on in that world. So before we get into the actual shows we watched this week, there was a bit of news that happened. First of all, start with the big one. Stargirl has been canceled. This is this last season. After this, it's gone. Goodbye. No more. So
kaput.
Wrap it up. Wrap it up. Yeah, any thoughts?
I mean, I wasn't surprised. I won't lie, when you texted me about it, I think I was walking through I think I was like crossing the street or so, and I just glanced down. I was like, yes. I was just like, yes. Oh my God. Thank you, Jesus.
Awful. We're not here to celebrate people losing their jobs, folks. Like, that's not what we do.
It's not. It's just more just like, it's one less show I have to watch with commercials. And I know that sounds like a crazy thing to go like, yes, about. It's literally one less set of commercials I gotta watch because it literally takes away from watching the show.
I mean, I get it. Commercials suck. That's why every streaming service I have, I give them the extra bit of money to get the commercial-free version. Like,
and I appreciate you for that.
It's just what I do. Like, with Hulu, like, an extra $4 to get it commercial-free? Sure. Paramount Plus, an extra $5 to get it commercial-free? Sure. Peacock, an extra $5 to get it commercial-free? Sure. If it means that I don't have to watch these ads, I will do it every time. Ask me about YouTube Premium. It's fucking amazing. But yeah.
I get it. No, I remember when you first got Hulu with no commercials, and then and then they took off the CW shows from it, and then you started to go down to commercials, and you were just like, I can't.
yeah, I did. I was like, okay, well, I won't be watching it as much because the CW shows aren't on there anymore. But then the times I was still watching it, I was just like, oh no.
It was a very dark 2 weeks to a month.
It was awful. I'm like, I can't do this. I cannot. I tried though, for real. I really did. I tried it with Paramount too, but I was just like, I don't watch enough on Paramount. This was early on in Paramount before they added all the Star Trek stuff to it, And it was just like, I don't need the commercial free here. And I watched it. I'm just like, ooh. Yeah, I mean, here you go.
Can we talk about Paramount Plus? I was like, because.
What about it?
I mean, like later, like after this.
Oh,
can you and I talk about Paramount?
Oh, sure. We can talk about Paramount Plus, Mark. That's not what we're here to talk about, though. So let's get more into what we're here to talk about. Yeah, we were talking about Stargirl.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah, I was like, I also wasn't surprised, but I also was kind of like, well, Okay. I mean, out of all of the shows that we had been doing for, like, I guess, like, the last couple of seasons, I was like, this was one of the better ones. But I was just like, it's all that's left. And I was just like, this season so far, I'm not married to, so it didn't really shock me.
It's one of those things. I remember when the first season came out, it was like, oh, this is great. Like the whole first season, we're both were just really into it. Second season came along, it was like, okay, this is still cool. It's not as much fun as last season. And then this season started, and it was just like, oh my god,
this has really gone far away from hero stuff to like, what the fuck?
yeah, and them dragging out this whole who's watching them on the camera thing was really getting on my nerves. Like I said it last week, I no longer care who's watching them on the cameras. They were supposedly revealed in this episode, and I didn't care. I'm like, okay, whatever.
They were watching, and they were just like, fuck, I guess we should tell.
Should have told me like 3 weeks ago.
But yeah, so it's kind of like one of those situations where it's like, if everything else around you is starting to get axed like crazy, you got to come out like swinging to show that you're worth sticking around, especially with everything that's been going on surrounding the CW.
Not even just the CW, Warner Brothers too. Like they sold CW, them and CBS sold CW.
Yeah.
And that happened, but also like everything that Warner Brothers is doing, like they cutting stuff off from HBO, removing stuff that was streaming on HBO. And when they first talked about that happening, I was mostly just like, okay, fine. It'll probably be a bunch of stuff that I don't care about anyway. And that was my attitude until actually today, where I was reading another article about something else completely unrelated and found out one show that I definitely watch on there, the cartoon Close Enough. Yeah, they removed that shit. And I'm like, come on, man.
Close Enough?
Yeah, Close Enough is what it was called. It was a cartoon. It was about this couple. They got a kid, and they're basically just millennials. And they're living like millennials, but it was like, exaggerated shit, how, them feeling old and all that kind of stuff, and only wanted to stay home and watch streaming services and shit, and all that kind of stuff. It also has a dude, I will never know his real name, but his name was Rafi on the league. And he always plays this crazy motherfucker. But he was I'm trying to think of what else he was on that I can compare, that I can like mention him to you and you'd know who I'm talking about. Did you ever watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
I've seen episodes.
Do you remember the crazy ass dude that was dating Rosa for a while? They almost got married.
Was he part of the precinct?
No. He was a cop, but he was not part of their precinct. Here, I'm just. Anyway, finish anything else you were saying about Stargirl?
That was it. It's just kind of like, it sucks. Like, it sucks. With this season, I don't really see the potential of coming back from it, but like I just feel like this was a season that was like that turn that the CW shows have made, where it's like, yeah, we've taken such a turn from where we were before, from where we started, that like it's not going to go back to that feeling ever again.
Yeah, that was the thing, man. Like this season is just like, yo, this isn't fun anymore. But yeah, what were you saying? I'm sorry, I think I cut you off.
It's okay. Because it's just like it's taken such a left turn from what the okay.
Yeah, this nigga.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
He does a voice. Yeah, he does a voice on there too, and it's just like, yeah.
Doesn't he do the voice of Jay? I think his name is Jay from Big Mouth. I think he does.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's Jay on Big Mouth.
Yes,
yeah.
He is fucking hysterical. I love that guy.
He's always fucking insane, no matter what role he plays on whatever show he's on.
Yes. That's great. But fuck, what was I saying? Yeah, it's taking such a left turn from where it started, where it's just like, this isn't fun and refreshing anymore. It feels like they canceled Nancy Drew and they said, how can we bring Nancy Drew back? without bringing it back.
And then
And I say
started
that
like
literally because
oh, go ahead.
I was like, and I say that because they literally had a Nancy Drew show.
Yeah. And I was just like, okay, they're trying to be a show that they're not, like those other CW shows like they were before. Like, this is not Arrow. Like, don't do that. Don't try to go there. Like, it's almost like the opposite of what Legends did. Like, Legends started off trying to be super serious and shit. Then they realized, no, what works is us being fucking goofy. So let's just go flip this and be goofy, just make this fun. Stargirl started off like, yeah, let's be fun here. And then it turned into let's be a more serious show. And people think, no, don't do that. That's not what works for y'all. That's not what you built here.
Right. They tried to go dark last season, and it was like, you didn't need to do all that.
At all.
And there's ways of doing it, of making something or like a scenario dark. Miss you too. Making a scenario dark without it without it going out of your norm. Like, I feel like Supergirl did a good job, not to bring that one back up into our new show, despite how much I hated that show. I felt like when they had times where things were like dark themed and stuff like that, they did it, but they kept it within Supergirl's annoying ass niche. Yeah, like same thing with with Flash. Flash does all the time. Whenever shit's really looking bad, it still stays within the realms of what they normally do. And I feel like Stargirl was just like, we're gonna make it
sometimes
so dark
to a fault.
Yeah.
I'll never forgive them for the Care Bear stare. I will bring that up forever.
I know. I know you loathe it.
It made me so angry, Mara.
I know.
Like,
I wish I could make it better.
It's just like unjustifiably angry. Like, I had no right to get as angry about it as I did at all, but it really bothered me.
Is it your finale of Game of Thrones?
Maybe because that didn't bother me as much as it bothered a lot of people. It did bother me. There were things about it I definitely did not like, but I was not nearly as angry about it as a lot of other people were, including you.
That's why I say that, because like it's like the way you feel about the Care Bear stare finale or resolving with the Flash is how I feel about the how Game of Thrones ended. But it's funny because whenever time you mention it, I feel like I was either just bothered enough by it that I was able to just block it out of my brain, that I just literally don't remember what happened. But I know that it angers you so much.
Stared at all the angry like mirror people and made them disappear. Like, that's what happened, Mara. That was their conclusion. That was how they defeated their villain. They held hands and remembered how much they loved each other, and all the mirror people went away. What the fuck?
I wish I could make it make sense, but I can't.
Literally, the Care Bear stare. They didn't even do the countdown. If they had done the countdown, then it probably would have been funny to me, and I would have been less upset by it. Because then they're like, "Oh, you're really doing the Care Bear stare." Care Bears count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They didn't do it. They just stared. Sorry, that's enough about the Flash finale from years ago.
But anyway, yeah, that's my take on the news of Stargirl.
Yeah, it's one is like, I'm never, like I said, I'm not happy about people losing their jobs and all that kind of stuff. But honestly, when it goes away, I don't think I'll miss it. It's just kind of how I feel. More news. Did you watch Sandman on Netflix?
No, it's on my list though.
You should, first of all, because it's good. Also, when season 2 comes out, we're probably going to talk about it. But yeah, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. speaking of, like I said, season 2, it's been officially renewed for a second season.
Nice.
But yeah, fantastic stuff. I really enjoyed it. So I'm glad it's back. Probably do some more stuff dealing with Satan again because, unfinished business there and a lot of other things. Won't get too much into it until you see it. But yeah.
Someone said that the Care Bear stairs.
Yeah, I saw it. I'm ignoring him.
That's why he wrote "You Need to Heal."
No. There's no healing from this. All right.
You need to heal.
Did you just remove yourself?
No, I was zooming in on you, just saying you need to heal.
Anyway.
I was giving a different perspective. You shouldn't have taught me all these tricks and tools on this thing.
Yeah. And then last bit of news.
We should add superhero porn parodies to the list.
Not until you spell it right. Oh, you did spell it right. Never mind. I thought that was an A right there. Take that back.
I was like, what? Therapy is also a choice.
It is. You know what else is a choice? Having your heroes do the Care Bear stare. That was a choice. They chose that shit. They were like, they had a whole writer's room full of people and they said, yeah, let's go with that. Oh, I know what you're talking about, sir. I know what you're talking about.
I didn't because I asked. I was like, of stuff to cover or things to do?
No, he was talking about stuff to cover because, yeah. Anyway, last bit of news before we get into the shows. Agatha, Covenant of Chaos, I think is what it's called. Covenant of Chaos. Aubrey Plaza has been cast in that show as an unnamed villain. So that'll be fun. But yeah. How you feel about that?
In what?
Agatha, Covenant of Chaos.
Is that
Agatha? Yes.
Okay, that's what I was like making sure. I was like, who are we talking about?
Yes,
right
Agatha
now?
from WandaVision, her show on Disney Plus. Yes.
And Aubrey Plaza.
Aubrey would it be?
Aubrey. Okay.
Are you looking up who Aubrey Plaza is?
I'm making sure I'm thinking of the right person. Yes. Okay. Because when you first were saying it, and I heard you say Aubrey Plaza, and I was just like, Drake, and I was like, no.
Wow.
Don't do that.
I would have just said Drake. Like,
the only reason I said that is because like recently I've heard someone refer to him as his birth name. That's why I was just like, it's so awkward that it's coming up again. We're not awkward.
I don't think his last name is Plaza.
It's not. It was the Aubrey part that I was more fixated on. And then I was like, that's not right. And then so her face was the next one that came up, which is why I had to fact check myself since I was over here being dumb.
She's great in everything I see her in. So
I know this is the one who you were telling me about from that Someone Goes West.
Oh, Ingrid Goes West? Great movie. Great fucking movie. Have you seen it yet?
No.
You're fired. It is a great movie though, like for real. But yeah, that what was that other one? There was that movie when she was fucking Robert De Niro.
Wow, that took a turn.
Yeah, I know. And that's how random it fucking is. It's just damn, I forgot what that movie's called. But yeah, she was great in that. Then you ever see that show?
That Mike and Dave Need a Wedding Date? Does that have anything to do with it? Oh no, Dirty Grandpa. Dirty Grandpa,
yes, that was the one. Then there was you watched that show on Hulu, the animated show Little Demons?
No, it's on my list.
Yeah, she does the voice of mother on that show.
I was picturing Jimmy in his wheelchair. That's
Oh
right,
man,
Drake. I know all your names. I know all of them.
yeah, you know more of them than I do. Then, but yeah,
Huh. Well, I look forward to that because I feel like she has like kind of like one of those faces where she can be goofy, but like Natalie Dormer looks like she's hiding a very seductive secret.
mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So she had like she looks like she could play a fairy godmother, but she could also play um just a bad guy.
Yeah, she's supposed to be a villain. We know she's a villain. They just haven't said like who she is. They just
I'm just loving the versatility.
and she always has this real dry wit about her too, all the time too. That's so good. But yeah, that's it for the news though. So
Newsy time. I haven't
yeah,
gotten to say that in so long.
yeah. We'll Creatia Conversations coming back soon, so we'll be able to get all up in your newsy time then. But yeah, let's get into the shows now. Where you want to start?
Let's start with Stargirl
Figured.
because I figured we would leave the heftiest
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
last.
Yeah, because Titans is hefty. They gave us 2 episodes. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, you just don't think I got anything else to do today, huh?
They really didn't, because that's why I had to text you to be sure. Because I was just like, did I miss? For half a second, I thought I had missed a week, and I was just like,
when you text me like we're covering the first 2 episodes, I'm like, what the fuck you mean 2 episodes? And I looked and I'm like, nigga, y'all put up 2 episodes? And then I just looked at them like, you know what? Yes, both episodes. And I was just like,
I'm happy that I clarified because knowing my luck, I would have only watched one and you would have watched both. And
well, when I saw both, I would have watched both. But like nigga, like
oh man,
what makes you think?
I had to do
Like
so much research. I was like, oh, did I miss a week of Titans and we just didn't cover it? Like, what the fuck happened? Did it come out at 3 a.m. or did it come out this morning?
yeah. I was just like, this is rude. Like, and I know this is only like affects a very small segment of the population, that being us who watch these things and then do a podcast immediately after, and it inconveniences us. However, what the hell? I know everybody else is probably excited, like, oh snap, we got 2 episodes this week. Not I.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's not like how I feel when SVU drops a new season and they said, here's the first 2 episodes, 2-hour premiere.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
like
that.
When randomly Amazon Prime, the new show comes out, they put the first 2 episodes out at once. So like when they did, I was livid.
Blazing 102.3 hot.
That's what
their radio station's called?
Well, there's one that was in Tallahassee. It was Blazing 102.3 was
Hot 97 for our for our East Coasters.
Yeah. But yeah, in Tallahassee, Florida, Blazing 102.3 was the station. But yeah. Let's get into Stargirl though.
Yes.
So yeah, this episode of Stargirl was called what?
Frenemies, Chapter 9, The Monsters.
Not to be confused with The Munsters. It's a different show. But anyway, this episode kicks off with Ice Granny just looking at some photos in her photo album and shit. And she just, got the bitter beer face on as always.
She's just a very angry woman.
Always. So yeah, she walks out and I guess she was talking to the Ice Grandpappy and she was like, yo, where's Cameron at? And he's like, he's off doing his sculpting. She's like, yo, I told him no more art.
Yeah, I was just like, what in the fuck?
It's like, so is that why he told his art teacher he was done? Because you told him to stop doing art? Like,
I don't understand.
Yeah, that was so weird. When the art teacher showed up at the house, I'm like, oh no, Oh no, but we'll get to that. So Barbara's sitting on the stairs waiting when Courtney and Pat come home, and she lets Courtney know like, "Yo, Yolanda's up in your room." I guess she told her what happened, and
Yeah, I mean, I guess they have to work that out. She gonna be in her room.
yeah. So Courtney gets upstairs and they do the crying hug thing, and I guess everything is cool now because they hugged and cried.
Because I feel like Courtney also understands that, like she knows, like I feel like because Yolanda has expressed like her parent that she's expressed before that her parents like.
Oh yeah, she knows everything about that already. Yeah, how her parents are and all
so
that.
I feel like
because somebody leaked her nudes.
Yeah. I feel like Courtney has like that wherewithal of being like, I feel like if you came here, like it's really because like shit's bad.
Cause she ain't had no fucking choice. And now Yolanda's like, yeah, I guess I gotta squash that shit and pretend I'm not mad no more, or else I can't sleep here. So
I wish I had I think I don't remember if it was a tweet or if it was an article or a piece that someone had wrote about Stargirl, because they were talking about Yolanda's relationship with her parents.
mm-hmm.
And I think they were just kind of talking about how like over the span of 3 seasons, like there has been absolutely no
Zero
growth,
mm-hmm.
like no growth within their relationship at all. And it's like, granted, it might have been really like the span of like maybe a year, I guess,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
from the first season. But it's just like in all that time, you're telling me there's absolutely no movement or growth on them or like, and I was like, that is something.
I mean, it's one of those things like, okay, on one hand, yeah, that's hard to believe there's been zero progress there, but on the other hand, it's just like,
It's
if you're
also
shitty
like,
people,
yeah, because I was saying like on the other hand, it's like it's kind of also showing that like not every story ends happily,
mm-hmm.
or like has a happy circle go around. But yeah,
because you got to think after all that happened, that also was followed up by a whole lot of lying from Yolanda. So it's just like, on one hand, it's like, I kind of see why they still don't trust you, but at the same time, the way they're handling it is not.
Yeah, like how I feel like how they've handled it from the start was kind of just like,
oh well, yeah. Like I said, how they're handling all this is definitely fucked up. Them not trusting her, I can understand, but them having treating her the way they're treating her, I do not.
Yeah,
because like I said, that happened, and then followed up, like I said, a whole lot of lying from her, which I know why she's lying. We know why she's lying, but at the same time, they don't. They just know she's lying to them. That she says she's been working all these late shifts, and she has not been working and late shift.
It was like, you're like 3 lies away from being on the pole. That's how they be treating it.
I mean, strippers make bank though, so
they do, but they would probably be livid.
They would.
They would be living great, but they would be so mad.
Mm-hmm. My thing is, you know what? I would encourage it. I'm like, you know what? They mad now, make them big mad. Like, go, as soon as you turn 18,
I'd be like, I'll go with you.
Exactly.
Give me the encouragement.
Exactly. I'll be sitting, that's, stage throwing one, just.
God willing, my knees still work by then. When was what, 6? That's sadly 12 years from now. Not that I'm encouraging her to do that, but like we had to do the math. That's 12 years from now, so I'd be 40. Yeah, we'd have to really just hope that my knees would still be doing it by then.
Hey. But what?
No, I'm just laughing at the thought of it.
Oh, the thought of you taking Luna to the club. Yeah.
Yeah,
man. So then we got Pat and Barbara talking about what happened to Pat in the Shadowlands, and he's just telling about what he saw happen, and he's like, yeah, father stuff was all just the same old shit he always said, but it was just like, I'm worried about Mike.
That is true. Depends on the club and where you are.
Mm-hmm. Of course. But that's any job, you know. You got to work at the
This
right
is
one. Even
true.
like honestly, he's like any job. Like even working at Pizza Hut as a delivery driver, if you're working at the right Pizza Hut, you make a whole lot of money. If you're not, you don't. Like it's just, yeah, that's kind of how it works. But then he starts talking about Mike's mother, and we got clarification of what we were talking about last week. So she is still alive. He said he didn't even know about Mike until after him and Mike's mother Maggie split. Then later on, found she'd like abandoned him at a homeless shelter, and he was just dropped off at his front door. And he was like, "Yo, Barbara's just like, I think he needs to see his mother again and talk to her." And he's like, I gotta think about it. It's like, no, you don't have to think about it. You already know."
Right.
Like, and so yeah,
you know what you're going to do.
Yeah. So yeah, she just abandoned him. She didn't die. So now we know. We had a whole back and forth last week and doing all this research. We could have just waited a week.
Who figured they would have gone full circle on that?
Yeah, of all things to just be
to resolve.
Yeah, that quickly. They wait all these weeks to tell us who's behind the cameras. Like I said, they waited till I no longer cared. Mike's mother, right away.
Right. The second it comes up, the second they close it, they'd be like, now we're done with it.
Yeah. So we got more of the Yolanda and Courtney talk, and she's like, "Yo, I need your backup on something else." Find out later on it's because he wants to tell Cameron everything, and I'm just like, "Oh, you dumb as fuck." But
you know what I'm saying? I was just like, on what universe does that sound like a good idea?
Like, hey, listen, I'm going to reveal who I am along with everyone else, and also reveal the fact that we killed your dad. Cool? Yeah, cool, right? We're still cool, right? After you found out I killed your dad? Yeah. Well, my stepbrother killed your dad with a car, with a truck, hit him, ran him over. Yeah. We still cool? We're cool, right? Yeah. I don't know what she thought that was going to go like at all. It's
just dumb teen
kids
shit.
Are dumb. Teenagers are dumber because they don't realize how dumb they are. Anyway. So there's that. Then Mike and Jakeem are sitting at the diner, and Jakeem's worried about Cindy, and Mike's just like, "What the fuck? We really?" And Jakeem's like, "Yo, we're supposed to be looking out for people. We're supposed to be doing the right thing, not trying to just look cool and get more recognition from the rest of the team and all that kind of stuff. Like, no, let's actually help people." And Mike finally agrees.
It's like, please think about this.
Yeah. So then we get the art teacher showing up at the old Icicle's house to go see them. And like I said, as soon as he shows up at this front door, I'm just like, this is not going to end well. It's not going to end well for you at all. And of course, Ice Granny kills him because she's just an angry old lady. He's talking about how, like, he quit, and she's just like, well, he quit because that's what he needs to do. He has more important things, and blah, 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 blah. And he tries to go back and forth with her, not realizing she has icicle powers, and she icicles him right in the chest.
Never turn your back on an old lady with ice powers.
I guess not. I mean, I guess we should, like, check all old white ladies to make sure they don't have ice powers before we say something slick to them. I don't know.
Bad enough that they use the police against us. Now we got to be worried about fucking ice powers.
Yeah. So we talked about how Courtney wants to tell Cameron everything. She tells the rest of the team sitting around the lunch table. I'm still just baffled by these conversations they have just openly at the lunch table. Like,
and they really just be like, no one's listening to us.
Yeah, nobody here just talk about all this JSA stuff, like, out loud, not even whispering or nothing. Like, but anyway, she says that, and Rick is just like, "Yo, what the fuck?"
Rick is very much against it. He was just like, absolutely not. Like, and I was just like, someone had to say it. Like, this is a dumb idea. Like,
yeah, I even have in my notes, this is fucking stupid.
Because it's just like, it says, you want to tell him that your star girl by all means, do what you want to do about your life. Don't be telling everyone else's business.
Yeah.
And Rick made a great point. He's like, every time you tell someone like our secrets, like you put all of us and our families and our loved ones at risk. Like, the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. And he gets all emotional, but he's like, you know what? I got your back though. Like, just like I have everybody at this table's back. But just, don't say I didn't warn you.
And then it went down to his time turner. I'm just like, that shit is fucking you up, Rick.
Yeah, like he hasn't turned it off yet at all. It's just,
Oh yeah, I didn't realize it's on it's on its side.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is crazy.
Because he took off the limiter, so there's no time limit on it at all. He just kept it sitting on its side, just kept it on all the time. Like,
that's crazy. I think it has a lifeline of steroids, just fucking his shit up.
Just mainlining it constantly. So then we got I keep forgetting what her like civilian name is, but Tigress, like trying to train Barbara.
Oh, I have her name written down.
Okay. While you look for that, she's just, there's a back and forth. Barbara's just like, yo, I don't like, practicing violence and blah, 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 blah. And she's like, oh, you're not, wanting to defend yourself. You just want to like sit back and let anybody just fuck with you all the time. Okay. Must be nice. But then Barbara calls her a friend and it just kind of throws Tigress off though. She's like, nobody's ever called me a friend before. She wasn't ready for that.
Oh, right. She was just like so touched.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'll be like, I'm not your fucking friend, girl. You do not know me like that.
So then we got Mike and Jakeem. They, wish their way into Cindy's locker, and the whole time Thunderbolt's is like, yo, this is like technically breaking and entering, not saying I'm not gonna help y'all, but still, like, probably shouldn't be. Oh, you're gonna take her stuff now? Probably shouldn't do that either. This is. I know you're trying to help, but what the hell? This is invasion of privacy now. What are you doing?
No. Stop what you're doing. I hate that I said I had her name written down here, and and now I'm over here deep searching for it. Because I know it's here. I know I've definitely erased that lady and then put like her actual name, and now it's going to try to say it.
Paula.
Thank you. And I probably read past the Paula and was like, that's not it.
Yeah.
Pretty sure I did that.
Yeah, it's Paula.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I knew you weren't going to be okay until you found it, so.
I wasn't. Thank you.
I got it. It's fine. It happens to me too. So looking through her shit, though, they find a list of Dragon King's labs. So they're like, yo, she's probably been going through all these are crossed off except for this one that's circled. And they're like, oh, let's go check it out. In my head, I'm just like, bad idea, but okay.
Y'all gonna do whatever the fuck you want to do anyway.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we got Beth, and she's, talking with the rest of the crew. Then she was like, oh, got a hit on something like basically like I think we figured out where the camera's feed is coming from,
and
it's the Icicle House, and it's like, oh shit.
McKent.
Yeah, Icicle House. So then we got Courtney at the house about to tell Cameron everything like a dumbass, but the parents interrupt her. Grandparents, I mean.
Yeah. That grandmother is not a fan of us. I mean, aside from the fact that she killed her son, or is part of the reason he's dead. But
yeah. But also, it's one of those things, then if they've been watching, they know all the identities anyway and didn't tell Cameron. So,
touche.
If they're actually the ones that were watching. Because it wouldn't surprise me if we find out like, oh, it wasn't actually them either.
Imagine.
Be so annoyed. But like right after that happens, Rick busts in full Our Man attire. I don't know when he changed clothes, but
he gives off this feeling that he kind of keeps that shit very close by at all times.
But like, he would still had to stop and change. Like, and where did he stop and change? Like, it's just
in between houses. I know it. Like, I know he's like running through someone's yard or some shit, like with a bag, and then like subtly hiding it somewhere while he's like, running and jumping into his costume and shit. Like, mask on at all times.
I guess. But yeah, he busts in, and then Yolanda also changed, and so did Beth. Like, when did they change? Because I feel like they ran straight there. So like, what happened? But
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, Yolanda comes in to help, tells Beth, like, yo, you stay outside. You're not a fighter. So we got this.
I was like, damn, Yolanda, that was mean. Like,
but true.
It is. But I was like, damn, like, I don't see any of y'all offering to teach her how to throw some moves, though.
No, she's like, their guy in the chair kind of thing,
I get it. I'm just saying.
But Oliver didn't like say Felicity come out and help,
Touche. But I feel like, I don't know. I feel like Oliver also gave her like resources, like if she was in trouble. I don't know if I'm remembering that right though. So who knows? I could be making that up.
Possibly.
That was 7 years of a back and forth relationship. So I couldn't really tell you honestly.
True. But yeah, he busts in. He was like, I warned you. And, he attacks Cameron. Then we got them fighting. And then we got Wildcat and, Ice Granny fighting. And
also, I think at least I realized that Grandpappy does have ice powers.
Yeah.
Because I feel like last week we were hypothesizing.
Like, does he or does he not? That it was only the grandmother that had it and passed it down. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I remember I saw that too.
It's like, nope, it's both of them.
Yeah. And speaking of Grandpappy, we got he actually was going after Beth because she went in anyway, and found out that the goggles have a combat mode because her parents were like digging into the shit and like, hey, we found out the goggles have a combat mode and tell her how to turn it on, and it does stuff.
Yeah, Dr. McNider shared that with them.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, cool. This is like, I asked you guys to stay out of it, but you guys, and thankfully you guys didn't, so now you can help me.
But why did he tell them instead of telling her?
That's a good question.
Yeah, it shouldn't have been necessary for them to find that out. Why wouldn't he tell her that?
That doesn't make sense because in all honesty, I figure him being a former member of the JSA, he would know that at some point combat would come.
Exactly. So it's just
we're asking people to we're asking people to make logic.
Yeah. So then in the middle of all this, Artemis just randomly shows up too. She's just in there because why wouldn't she be?
Paula said, my best friend's daughter is there. You need to go help.
Basically.
You need to go prove yourself. Go.
Yeah.
So if my friend's daughter dies, it's going to be a bad time for her friends.
Yeah. You hear that? I have a friend. Now go.
Go make sure my friendship does not fall apart.
So yeah, all that fighting's happening. In the midst of that, Ice Granny tells Cameron, like, yo, they killed your father. And he goes, nuts with the ice, about to kill Rick. But then Grandpappy comes in and stops him like, no, you got to stop all this anger and this craziness. That's what really killed your father, not people.
I thought Rick was going to kill Cameron for a hot second.
Just like, I was full on expecting one of them to die. And that probably would have been.
Oh my God, is he about to snap his neck because the roid rage? Yeah. Is this it? Is this
well, you know what? I'm not gonna say I thought he was gonna kill him. I thought he was gonna like put him in the hospital though, like for real.
No, it'd be too expensive to keep him a vegetable as opposed to just killing him.
So
I don't know why that made me laugh
about to
so
say that
hard.
got you on you cracked yourself up with that
I
one, huh?
do crack myself up. Did you not see my tweet yesterday when I said me reading this text before I even sent it? And it was like a gif of me laughing. I do
You, my
crack myself
friend,
up.
are a mess. It's fine. I mean, hey, I crack myself up all the time too. I tell people all the time, if nobody else laughs, I'm gonna laugh. I work for an audience of one. Y'all just along for the ride. Um.
Well, my number
Anyway,
changes depends on how many voices I'm hearing that day.
makes sense. So yeah, right afterwards though, Grandpappy has a heart attack, which stops everything. And they're like, "Oh no, he gonna die!" And they about to call 911. They're like, "No, don't do that. Your gloves got a defibrillator, because that would have been good to know."
Right? It's just like, Mom, why do you? It's like, what is this?
Like, first of all, Dr. McNider, that's another thing that would have been good to know about this damn suit and goggles and shit. Like, oh,
Because
I got a
you should
defibrillator in
know
here.
with combat also comes
People's hearts might
injuries.
stop. Like, I might have to defibrillate a nigga. Why you ain't tell me about this shit?
Mr. Dr. McNider and I used to have some words. Why are you not setting the kids up for success?
Crimson Shots, thanks for the follow, man. But yeah.
Oh, okay. I was trying to understand what that was. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. But yeah. Then we go back to Mike and Jakeem though. They're looking for Cindy at this creepy old farmhouse. Like they they knocking shit and ain't nobody in the side. Well, nobody's answering, and we pull the camera back and realize a dead nigga in there. They don't see it though, and then they're go over to the barn looking around. Then we get a Back to the Future reference in here, which I'm sure you didn't catch, but there was. Penn, Thunderbolt was talking, and he was just like, "Yo, there's like a lot of like a high level of manure in here, like Biff Tannen level manure." Biff Tannen is a character in Back to the Future, and he ran his car into a manure truck and was covered in manure. I hate manure was a whole thing.
Gotcha. Thank you for knowing me well enough to know that I didn't.
I know.
I was not going to catch that.
I know. It's fine. I didn't expect you to, so it's okay. It's different when there's times where I'm just like, oh, have I failed my friend? Like, but yeah. After more looking, we see this big albino ape. And at first, I'm like, who the fuck is this? And then I looked it up because I'm like, I know it's not who I thought it was originally, which was, the dude that Gorilla Grodd was fighting before. It's not him. It's Ultra Humanite is who this is.
Yes.
He's an old school villain, like from way back.
No, he really is an old school villain. He is technically the first supervillain to appear in the DC comic books.
Okay, so he is for real old school. I knew he was old. I didn't know how old.
Mm-hmm. He was usually as a recurring adversary of Superman. He was first introduced in Action Comics number 13, June 1939.
So he was the first villain, but he was in number 13. So who was they fighting in the first 12 issues?
I don't know. That's a good. I don't know. I didn't beat those.
I know. I hear you. It's just like I'm just like, huh? Interesting. This is gonna require more.
Well, maybe the first 12 are villains, but this one's it keeps specifying super villain.
Okay. Maybe they were just normal motherfuckers he was beating up then, like Nazis and shit or something. I don't know, but like, yeah. Okay.
In the 30s, yeah. In the 30s. Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, there were Nazis back then too. They just, didn't start really causing trouble till the 40s.
You're right. They was there. We weren't really concerned about them.
Yeah, they stayed in Germany. They just stayed inside Germany doing German shit, and then they started acting a fool in the 40s.
If they would have just left fucking Poland alone.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't until 39 when they were just like, we finna walk up in Poland and start taking shit. Before that, they kept all they crazy German shit in Germany. But anyway, that was Stargirl. Anything else you want to talk about with Stargirl?
No, I mean, I don't know much about Ultra Human Knights, so like I guess if that's going to turn into something further, you know me, I'm in for this show just to see what this crossover with Titans is going to do. You know,
I know you're all about the crossovers.
Yeah, you know, in all honesty, I don't give a shit about anything else that's happening. I don't give a shit about the parents, about the grandparents watching them. If it's not leading to the shit with Titans, from what I've seen
and
so
Doom
far,
Patrol. You keep leaving Doom Patrol out of this.
And Doom Patrol, I need to really
yes, you do
binge through that.
You do.
You know, if it ain't what's tying into those two, I really haven't fucking cared.
I hear you.
But yeah, that's it.
Okay. Well, let's get into Titans then.
Let's do it.
So
at some point this week, I'm going to find out who the antagonists were of issues 1 through 12.
Okay.
Because now I want to know.
You do that and let us know next week.
I will.
I'll make a note of that here.
I was going to say, I'm going to make a note right now so I don't forget.
Action Comics 1 through 12 villains. Got it. That's all my notes for next week.
You text that to me too afterwards, just to, you know.
You said text it to you?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sure within the next 7 days, I'm sure at some point I would open our messages to be like, I have to send this to Travis. Oh, find these comic villains.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so
we got 2 episodes.
Yeah, so let's start with the first one. What's the name of it?
Lex Luthor. I love that they keep their titles very simple.
Yeah. You know what's happening in this episode? Stuff with Lex Luthor. What we gonna name this episode? Lex Luthor. Okay, cool. So this starts off with bowling. It's not the way I thought an episode of Titans would start out. Bowling was not on my bingo card at all. But that's what we did.
It's a few days. It's from my presumption, this is a few days after the finale of season 3.
Yeah. From the way Corey was talking, it seemed like it.
To be fair, watching the recap of previously, like last season of the finale, I'm sitting here just like, I don't remember half of that shit happening. And I feel like for half a second, I was like, did I miss the episode? Did I just not watch? Did I not watch that one? I even went back and I was like, okay, there's a progress bar there all the way at the end. So I have watched this.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It has been a while. I'm so excited. I'm even more excited that we're covering it. Because Titans is a very chaotic show and I love it.
But yeah, that was what I was just saying. Dick and Corey have a talk about recent events, and Corey's like, yeah, I feel like it's crazy how it was only a few days ago. I didn't even know if we would live and all that kind of shit. Now we're bowling. And Dick gets a call from Bruce. So he steps away. We also see Gar can do more transformations now. Not just, the tiger and the bat. You can also do an octopus and only do partial. You can do a partial octopus and just do the tentacle.
He's getting very slippery slope.
How is it slippery slope? How?
I was like, it goes straight from just casually bowling with the octopus arm to tentacle porn.
Oh, well, I'm about to say I figured you were going to hentai. Just making sure. But yeah, turns out though, once the call, Dick comes back from making his call, Superman wants to meet Connor, and Star Labs wants to meet all the rest of them. So
I was like, oh shit! I was like, we were already putting a face to Superman. Here we go.
Nope. Only to find out, Nope.
I was like, is this how they bring back Superman and Lois?
Really? So then it was funny. I have this in my notes because we get all these black cars pull up to a location with these black umbrellas, and I'm like, funeral?
And they walk a romance video.
And they walk in like, oh, I guess not a funeral. It's Lex Luthor, and he's in the Temple of Azeroth. Fires this lady who we later find out what we knew from the trailer was Mother
Miss
Mayhem. But yeah, Mother Mayhem.
Look, I made certain the whole time I was watching both these episodes to take note of everyone's fucking name as much as I could.
I appreciate it because I didn't.
I even wrote, he fires a Miss Bennett who helped him find the site.
Yeah. He fires her. Like, yeah, you've done your job. You can go. It's cool. You're going to get all your money for what you did, but I don't need you no more. Don't tell nobody what's going on. Goodbye.
Lex is a horrible person, but I will say, at least he still pays.
Yeah, like he gave her full pay for the entire contract. Like, your contract will be paid out, but you're done now. And if it's me, I'm like, cool, give me my money. I'm gonna go home. But she has, other ideas. So,
right.
She's like, this is my dedicated the last 5 years of my life to this. Blah, blah, blah. You're gonna get paid for even more than that. Take your money.
You're gonna be paid, so you don't have to do nothing else for the next 5, or at least the next 5 to 15.
Basically, depending on how you spend your money.
Right.
So then we get dude who we saw before, and once again from the trailer, Sebastian. He works in a taxidermy place. I don't know if he owns it or he just works there. They haven't really specified. But
it was given that he owned it, but who knows? From how it seemed like he was there very late, or maybe he lived in the back or something like that. But I was watching and I was just like, the second he started talking, I was like, is that Klaus from the Vampire Diaries? And then I looked up and I was like, that's Klaus from the Vampire Diaries.
Oh, okay. I didn't watch Vampire Diaries, so I wouldn't know. But okay.
He was he was an antagonist on Vampire Diaries, but then which led to and then his family led to a spin-off show that was also really good, but I have to watch the last season. And fun fact, he is also married to do you remember the show Girlfriends?
Mm-hmm.
He is married to Lynn.
Lynn was the mixed one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The free-spirited one.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. He is her life partner. And I was just like, I love how this man has somehow come full circle through my entire life, because I grew up watching Girlfriends to flow into the Vampire Diaries, and here he is on Titans. I'm loving it now.
Okay.
Now has me doubly excited for this season.
Yeah. So he's talking to, his taxidermy things, and apparently
fox.
Yeah, he's practicing his speech because apparently he invented something that's going to change the world. We later find out it's a mobile game. But I will not get into how disappointing that was to me. But then we got weird, creepy shit happening in this apartment with this nice interracial couple. She's eating Chinese food, and it turns out it's all of a sudden all her noodles are covered in blood, and there's blood coming out of her mouth and shit. And the dude's like, "Yo, what the fuck?" And
then he's frozen.
Yeah, and then comes creepy mask looking dude. I don't know exactly who he is, but he
gets a name later on.
Well, he gets a name later, yeah, but it's still as far as if he's a known villain or anything, not one that I know of is my point.
I had theories, but
like what?
Well, I mean, I was gonna say, because we get into it later when Corey, in the next episode, when they talk more about it.
Okay, well, we'll save it for then.
Yeah.
But yeah, he ends up killing an old girl, and we find out he didn't kill the dude; he just took him.
Yeah.
And I guess multiple people are seeing the blood all over the place, and it was like, oh, okay,
Yeah, so that's the thing that I was curious. Like, I mean, like Rachel, once we like, later on figure out there's like it's magic that's doing a lot of that's happening here. Like I was it's like, okay, that would be why Rachel would
Well,
be
the reason why Rachel is seeing it is because it's magic from Azeroth, and that's where like her power comes from is Azeroth. So it's a bit of a connection there. We talked about that when we were watching the trailer because they were talking about they start talking about Azeroth in the trailer. Like, yeah, that's where Rachel's from, basically. So she has a connection there, so she can kind of feel that and sense that makes sense. I don't know. She kind of talks like she can sense all magic, but the fact that it was happening like accidentally with her, not even trying to at that point, I think is because it's Azeroth.
I was just like, I was kind of curious as to like why they why Sebastian, but like I'm pretty sure there will be an episode
Where it explains that, yeah,
that explains like his whole purpose.
Like we know from the Judas contract that we watched before on Multiverse. You all subscribe to the Patreon, you can see us talk about that. He's patreon.com/Creatia World. His name is Brother Blood, so we know that that's coming.
Yeah, and he had like, and it was like Brother Blood on there, like in Judas contract, like he had his purpose of like what he was going to do to, I guess, change, quote unquote, the world.
Yeah. So Titans arrive at Star Labs. And that's when they're giving the news that Superman's not going to make it, but he left a letter for Connor, basically saying, "My bad, I'll catch you when I get back. Just listen to them; they'll help you out."
He's like, just hang out for a while.
And it's just like, that's, Clark, you're a journalist. You can write a better letter than that,
right? And I guess this is past his time as the journalist, right?
I don't know.
When does Clark actually stop being a journalist?
I don't know if he ever actually like for real does. Like, except for on Superman and Lois.
Touche. They just lie about it there.
Yeah.
But no, I feel that. I mean, like it sucks because that's what I was saying. Like I was like, this seems so good to be true. We're gonna get a face for Superman, but no, I was still excited. But like, we should have known. But then, so after they give that bad news, Gar is given some kind of glove. Anybody could have written that.
Yeah.
Bernard could have written that.
Very, very much true. He could have.
Shit, I would honestly believe that Bernard did write that and was like,
just a cover for Superman, yeah.
Yeah. Like they just told him to just go and they were like, "Oh no, we got it covered. We'll let him know." And they were like, "Write him a message so that he'll believe us."
Yeah.
I won't lie though, when Dick was first telling Connor that Bruce had made some calls, I low-key for a hot second I was just like, watch this turn around and it's not Superman, it's actually Lex that they got a hold of, because that was the first thing I thought of. I was just like, well, he has two fathers, so this is very open to interpretation.
Yeah, and we've already been told that Lex is on the show, so
the episode's called Lex. So I was just like, something tells me we're gonna see Lex very soon.
Yeah.
Which we then did, but I just thought it was funny. And then in turn, I was just like, there's no way we're getting Lex and Superman the same fucking episode. That would be too much. Had to put my thinking cap on for that. But they give I also had no hopes of seeing Barry either, or giving Barry a face in this universe, only because we're in Metropolis and not
Right. That's the Star Labs thing on The Flash. It's a purely TV show thing. Like,
I was wondering why other shows were saying like would have it somewhere else.
yeah, it's always been in Metropolis for everything else. It's just for that show they put it on in Central City.
Oh,
Like
in my brain,
his
I was
whole
just
thing, him becoming the Flash, had nothing to do with a particle accelerator explosion. It was just to getting struck by lightning.
gotcha. Well, yeah, because I felt like when the show, I felt like something had happened to him on Arrow, and then something different happened in the beginning of the show, and I
I
was
think
like,
they did it the same way. I think it's just
or maybe the way
they focused more on the particle acceleration part, but like I mean on
okay.
the Flash they focused more on it. But like in the on the on Arrow they
Yeah,
had the
'cause
whole
they
thing
showed
happen and
him
he got struck by lightning. But
okay, because I was just like, they did show him get struck by lightning, and then I was just like, but no, the particle accelerator also get. I was like, which one fucking was it?
it was the combination of both on the show at least. But like
Greg,
comic book, it was just the lightning.
Greg, look at me. Oh, wrong person. Damn it, I can't get it on just me. Look at me, Greg. This shit can't do this. You cannot do that.
Here. How about this?
Greg, look at me. Stop this shit. Stop changing things. We're gonna watch it anyway. Stop it. I love this as a feature.
Well, let me put this back. We were on the wrong side after I came back.
Oh, don't get up on the wrong side of the bed. That's not how to start your day.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I just kind of took it as I was like, well, I mean, Star Labs is a pretty big lab, so like maybe they just
franchised.
Maybe they have sites. Like there's so many Mount Sinai hospitals in New York City alone, so I was just like, it would be logical to have a Star Labs in Central and in Metropolis. I wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't like a small little laboratory in Star City as well. You know, like I'm just or National City. Like I have to think that these are things that they would do. You know, I'm giving you, Greg, ideas. I'm giving you an out here.
Like trying to help you make it make sense, you know, just
since Greg also works on Titans. So like, you know, I would like for the continuity to make sense to some degree.
Oh man, but like you were talking about before, the team's getting new stuff. Well, Gar got new stuff. He got a transformation suit.
Okay, I was wondering. I was like, they just handed him a glove, and I was just like, okay,
yeah, the whole suit.
And then they were like, no more randomly being naked, and I was just like, oh. I was like, well, will the suit stop him from being naked, or?
Well, remember he had to take off all his clothes when he transformed before, so
right.
So the suit is one of those things you can keep the suit on and transform, and the suit is still on when he transforms back.
I started picturing it like in The Boys when Huey would like no, not that one. Where's another show where they transform? They just rip out of their shit.
The Hulk.
Yeah, maybe I'm thinking of the Hulk. Twilight. When the wolves transformed, when they weren't prepared, they ripped out of their shit, and they would just be clothesless. Not like on screen, they just be shit out of luck on clothes at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, no, it's something involving an animal. I want that to be the last Twilight reference I make on this show. So
I would like that to be true also.
But we'll go for the purpose of sticking with our niche here, we'll say the Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Amani. You knew where I was going with it. It's just I had to go full circle.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, apparently though,
with all his tentacles.
But yeah, so then he like starts to transform, but then he sees like some weird shit, like a tree and some other shit, and then he wakes back up, and yeah, the whole lab had just been all fucked up.
His eyes go red, and the first thing I thought, and I was just like, that has to be a side effect from the shit that happened last season, because I don't remember who it was that was fucking with him. I just remember it was some lady. Was it Amanda Waller, or was that the wrong franchise?
No, it wasn't Waller.
But it was someone whose name we've heard before.
Yeah, he was somebody that worked for Lex, and it was, they fucked up stuff to him. They were like, experimenting on him and everything, and they're doing like the mind control stuff and all that. So
gotcha. Okay. I thought it was someone bigger. He looked like he saw a lynching. That was the first thing I thought when I saw that tree. I was like, that tree looks crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, apparently he turned. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, like it just took him to this tree, and I was like, this tree looks crazy. But I was like, what does it mean? And then he wakes up, and then everything's fucked up.
Yeah. So apparently he turned into a gorilla, then fucked everything up, and also he turned into an armadillo. I don't know why.
And a velociraptor.
Yeah. So he just, I don't know. Not sure.
I was taken aback by the velociraptor.
I mean,
we didn't see it, but could you imagine like being everyone else and see it like a nigga go from a gorilla to a velociraptor?
And an armadillo. There was an armadillo in there too. That's the thing. Just, yeah.
Isn't there like an STD you can get from armadillos or something like that?
Nigga, what?
There's something, or maybe it's like not an STD, but like there's some other disease that you can get from
touching like, huh?
I'm look that up. Put that in my note.
Okay. Anyway. Meanwhile, in
no,
another
of
part
course
of
they didn't have the budget for it. WB is in shambles right now. They are losing to a company that wants to prioritize Food Network over everything else.
Yeah.
They will save that for Pornhub, the bestiality. Well, actually, no. Hopefully they won't.
I don't know.
Hopefully they won't say that for Nowhere, because actually, now that I think, the more I think on that, the less I want it to exist.
Look, you don't know what Raven's into, all right? But anyway.
That was my Halloween costume.
Yeah.
Raven. Well, the cartoon version, not our Rachel Roth from here.
You don't know what she's into either.
I mean, like, I'm just saying, like, they haven't showed her, like, in that frame of outfit. She's kind of more dressed like Billie Eilish than she is the one from the cartoon, which is fine. I was just saying that, like, if anyone saw my costume, it was the cartoon version was the inspiration I went with.
Oh, that wasn't even what I was talking about.
Oh, yeah. I was talking about my costume.
I was talking about the bestiality thing. You're just like, let's hope they don't do that. And I said, well, you don't know what Raven's into.
Yeah. And then I was like, oh, that's my costume. But I think you had said something else afterwards that I think I confused as you responding to me.
I didn't.
It's okay, though.
Yeah, but anyway. Oh, it's definitely there.
Stop making it exist. Stop. It's not fetched. It's not going to be a thing.
No, it's there. Rule 34. It's there.
Rule 34.
Do I have to explain to you what Rule 34 is?
Later. Let's keep moving. We still got a whole other episode to talk about.
How does she not know about Rule 34? Okay. Anyway, there's also this thing to do a whole AR presentation about where Superman is and what he's doing. And I thought that was pretty unnecessary. But,
Yeah, at first I thought it was something that only Connor was going to be able to see, and then it was like, oh no, Dick can see this too, and I was just like, what?
And notice how Dick spent the whole time putting them on and taking them off to see the difference and everything to see, try to figure out how it works.
Like I was like, okay, this is okay.
Yeah, exactly.
And I thought I was sitting here thinking that Connor was getting like getting his own signature glasses because glasses seem to fool everyone.
Right, and you saw Dick looked at him all funny too, like that's funny. Like he put on the glasses like Clark did. Okay. I thought it was going to be more than just showing what Superman's doing right now. Like it was going to be a whole thing about where he comes from and all that kind of stuff. But no.
Like maybe he would have some kind of like AI of like his mother, like saying, "Your father is from a planet."
He doesn't have a mother,
huh?
He doesn't have a mother.
I'm talking about Clark.
Oh, Clark's mother. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, or I should say his grandmother and Connor's grandmother then.
Mm-hmm. So then we got some other things happening, like they're seeing what Starfire is capable of, and she like just shatters some beryllium, the hardest substance known to man, just shatters it. They're like, yeah, glad you did it, because it would have been more expensive to use a laser, so thank you. And it turns
out she's only using 8% of her kinetic output.
Yeah, I wrote that down. 8.1%. Yeah,
she's a lot stronger than she knows.
Right. And Tim gets a fancy new bow staff.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay. I mean, yeah, that's what Tim Drake fights with. So it's cool that he has it now. But I feel like they could have done better than that.
He was like, I'm getting my suit. And Dick was like, are you crazy?
Like, nigga, you've been a Titan for like a day.
Right? Like, it's been 5 days since we left Gotham. Your parents
got here, nigga.
Your parents are still calling you to make sure you're okay.
Exactly.
Like every few minutes. Like, let's relax.
Yeah. And then on top of that, there's some mods on the RV. They can put the Porsche up underneath it now, and it just comes out and shit.
Okay, so in the one question I kept asking myself the entire time they were in every time during the first episode they kept showing the RV, where the fuck do all of them sleep? Because I see like that one big back room that seems to be like wall lined with couches.
Mm-hmm.
And then like the one mid part that takes you towards the front. And I was like, oh yeah, like the meeting table. And I'm just like,
have you spent much time in RVs?
No.
That's why. So these things fold up and beds fold out of all kind of places in RVs. That's just kind of how they work.
But now that they fit like a Porsche inside of it, where are those things at?
The Porsche is underneath. They're on top of that.
I don't know. But I felt like they had put that. I thought they said they put that space in, so I figured they had to take away from something else. Or did they just put the car in there?
Well, they move stuff around. Star Labs,
I was like, not them doing pulling one of those things where it's like once you get inside, it's bigger inside than you think it.
No, it's like in RV, like all that stuff that isn't like fixed, isn't in a fixed spot. Like the table probably folds up and the bed comes down.
Because I was just like, I need someone to make it make sense to me.
Yeah, campers and RVs is just,
Bro, if I had an RV, Luna and I would be on the road probably all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be like, who needs rent? I just need gas.
And somewhere to park.
Yeah.
So yeah, then something happens while they're driving. All their electronics start fucking up. Connor's got this stuff happening in his head. It's Lex. And he wants Connor to come to LexCorp.
Shocker.
Yeah. So they go. But Starfire goes in first and just, whoops his whole security team's ass.
Oh, wait, hold on a second. Because I thought it was a little bit funny when Connor was like, Lex Luthor is just a man. Like, he's just a guy. He don't got no powers. And Dick was like, some of us don't have powers either. And I was sitting there like, damn, Connor, you're going to regret saying that because Lex Luthor is just that nigga. Like,
and the thing is, like, that was why Dick told him, like, all of us don't have powers. And yeah, remember from the previously on Titans, I was able to take you out anyway. Like, I could have slit your throat after you went down when I, kryptonite dust in your face and you went down. I could have took another piece of kryptonite and slit your throat, but I didn't.
Yeah,
So
and I
you
was
can be
also
taken down.
because I also say this only because of the fact that it was like we didn't know at that moment like what Lex's motives were, and it's just like you automatically, like they did in the show, assumed it was nefarious reasons. And I'm just like, you saying that man is just a man already tells me some shit's gonna be up. Like he gonna have some kind of, like, in my brain I was just like, no, he's gonna fucking try to kill him or do something crazy, and it's gonna turn around and have some kind of superpower that he's gonna be able to go toe to toe with Connor about. So I was just like, don't fucking say that. Don't say that, because we've seen every iteration of Lex Luthor find powers somehow. Unfortunately, this version's got the best of him.
Basically.
But yeah, so Corey goes in, and yeah, we could have called, but like Corey said, this way was better, and I thought it was way more entertaining.
So afterwards, she basically like just reads him for filth and just like describes her sister and like what her sister went through, but like saying it to Lex, like, yeah, I know you feel inadequate, like the whole time, and it's just like, like he gonna cry in the car.
He was like, "What?" The minute she leaves, he's like, one solo thug tear fall.
Yeah.
Oh, Lex could have called because he almost called a brain aneurysm. Yeah, there are better ways to get attention.
Basically, like he fucked with all the little electronic shit. He could have did the villain thing when he popped up on their screen and talked to him that way. Like he could have
cut out the electronics and then have somehow planted like a burner cell phone and then just called that and just been like, hey,
anything.
But Lex Luthor got to be extra as fuck. So also they were on the road, which is crazy. Like, what if you cause like a pile up?
I don't think he cared because Connor would have survived. So
I feel like the Harvey would have been fine. I'm talking about other people around them.
Yeah, I don't think he cared. Because all he cared about was Connor showing up. So whatever happened around that, irrelevant.
Touche.
While all this is happening, we got Gar and Connor and Rachel. They're just doing research on Lex. I guess they're at Star Lab still.
I thought I was under the impression that was the Daily Planet.
Okay, that would have made sense too.
Because I think they were talking about like articles, like things that they have been like reporting on him.
You're right.
Because I was like, I don't remember specifically at this point, like right now, I don't specifically remember them saying Daily Planet, but I feel like I looked up and something inferenced that like referred that that's where they were.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe Dick said it. Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't be paying attention.
Yeah, I tend to space out randomly, so it's just. But yeah, they're doing research on Lex.
Because they're trying to do recon, trying to figure out what is he up to, because Lex Luthor is always up to something.
Yeah, and so they got a whole section and like, we can look at all this different stuff. We got the, his philanthropy, piracy, and
they were like everything, because Connor can read fast, and he was just like, you need to narrow that shit down just a lot more.
And he's like, and I think it was more like for my sake as to where to point you. Like,
thank you, Amani. Yes. I was like, something said Daily Planet. This is the problem. My blinks take too long. So when I unblink, I've missed details.
It's funny because Amani has talked about my long, slow blinks that I be doing when I'm tired.
I wasn't tired. I'd just be blinking slow. I'm just dumb.
But yeah, and Connor's like, y'all want to look at the philanthropy, even though Gar was like, I want to look at the piracy. Like, what? Hold on, let's look at that. But Connor's like, nah, philanthropy, because
in the words of Luna, because pirates.
Yeah,
pirates.
But
Connor being smart and thinking like his daddy.
Yeah, like philanthropy, because there's something behind that. So let's look at what he's been doing with that and see what he's really up to. Meanwhile, Corey's in there talking with Lex, and she lets loose this little super flying hacking bug thing.
Something about that made me feel like, I was like, Lex already knows that that's going on.
You have to always assume that Lex knows what you're up to. Like he's already thought ahead that you're doing this, because it's just always what happens. With when it works, they're like, Tim, that was like, oh man, it works. And Dick is like, yeah, when you get stuff from Bruce, the fact that it works isn't surprising. It's just that it's
just
scary.
like what it's capable of
it's
doing.
What it's capable of was just like,
whoa.
Yeah, was
like Bruce, how is that legal?
It's not most of the time. That's the thing.
Or not legal. How is that possible? Like,
Yeah.
How are you able to do that shit?
Like, why are you able to do that shit? Just like, how are you okay with that?
A flying USB drive. Yeah. It kind of reminds me of like the little flying keys from the first Harry Potter, when they were trying to get through the not to the Chamber of Secrets, when they were trying to get to the Sorcerer's Stone and shit. Like, it was just flittering around like a little key to all the secrets. See what I did there? A key to the secrets of Lex.
Okay. So after the talk, Lex is they finally go, Connor goes to talk to him. And Lex basically tells him, no, he's still with Corey. He tells Corey, like, yo, he just wants Connor to, take over the company at some point.
Monty had my back. She felt me.
Okay. But yeah, he says he wants Connor to take over for him, and Corey calls bullshit.
Cause it's just like, nigga, we know you ain't never letting yourself die. So when is he ever gonna take over?
Basically. Then Lex is just like, okay, well, enough of this, and he just, looks through the little telescope thing he got there, and he's like, you know what?
He shows his hand.
Connor tonight, and he's like, you know what? Here we go, and he sends ninjas. Like how you just got ninjas on speed dial, bro? Like, just
I low key for a hot second thought of the League, and then Dick was like ninjas, and I was like, oh, this is different then.
Oh, the League of Assassins.
Yeah, I was just like, okay, because I was like, you fucked up all their Lazarus pits. Like, I would be tight too. Like,
yeah.
But
they only fucked up one.
Hmm?
They only fucked with one, didn't they?
I don't remember that. I'm making an assumption. Like, they fucked with one in general. Like, like no matter what, like one or them all, I'm mad.
Yeah. I think that was Arrowverse where they destroyed all the Lazarus pits.
Look, there's too many fucking universes, and Greg is for somehow in the middle of them. You know what? Actually, the way that Marvel and She-Hulk kind of like told us that Kevin Feige is a robot, I'm starting to feel like Greg is the robot here. Just in the middle, just curating all these crazy little universes and then collapsing them into one and then somehow separating them again.
Yeah.
It's like that ball thing that like kids have, that like spiky thing that goes whoosh, shoo. Yeah. Like, what are you doing?
Basically, pick a lane, bro.
Greg is trying to be the Stan Lee of DC. Of DC shows, driving me crazy.
Yeah. So Lex also just, he wants Connor to stay with him for 6 months. And yeah, we later find out it's because he's dying. But yeah.
And, it's funny. As soon as Dick said that, like, he was dying, and I was like, that does make sense, because 6 months is usually the time frame they give everyone on TV when they're dying, to like wrap their affairs up.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, it's always a 6 months time frame. And he's just like, I'm trying to wrap my shit up, so I got 6 months to do it because I'll be dead by then. If it's either 6 months or a year. It's never
Never anything different. Yeah.
It's always 6 months to the year.
So then we got Rachel. She's walking around the archives, and there's a bloody box. There's all that shit. She's still seeing bloody stuff. Okay. Apparently Lex has kryptonite poisoning, and he has been able to cure himself. And he's been working with some dude who looks really, really creepy. You later see him.
Sorry. Yes, I had to make a note of that because when they showed the dude in that black and white photo, I was sitting here like, was that the shade? Because I'm sitting here still really looking for whatever the Titan movie, and I was like, is that the shade?
No, that was not the shade.
But it looked a little bit. It looked like it could have almost been him. Like because it was such an old enough photo and such a poor quality of photo that I was just like, it could be. It could have been. But I was just like, is this the tie-in? Something with the shade?
Wow.
I'm desperate. There's like 4 episodes of Stargirl left. And I want to know.
So he basically wants to use Connor to save himself, is what they're thinking. Connor's like, y'all want to stay? I want to learn more about Lex, figure out who he is and all that kind of shit.
Uses the whole, I thought you said I had a right to know who my parents were. And and in my brain, I was sitting here, like, yeah, the good ones, not the shitty ones.
Yeah. And, throughout all this, I said to myself, to everybody in a note here, like, I'm pretty sure Lex was the cause of whatever sent Superman off world because, Lex.
He was just like, that star next to that one planet, weeks away, blow it up.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if Lex didn't have like a mystery like drone or bomb on several things that he is just waiting to set off. Travis was like, oh good, because if he didn't, it makes the team OP.
Oh yeah, I said when they took Connor out of the equation. Yeah, because he makes them too powerful.
Oh yeah. I mean,
technically he's not a Titan. Like he's like in far as like comic books and everything goes, he's not part of the Titans. He was on Young Justice, but that's a different show.
Well, I learned something new today.
What?
I didn't realize he wasn't Titan. I
I know the shows and stuff, right? He wasn't with the Teen Titans.
The cartoons. I mean, I've only seen like episodes. I just assumed that he was like a later addition.
Nah, he's not really one of the Teen Titans. He's, he was just Superboy. He was his own thing.
Or maybe you're right. Yeah. So Young Justice, I think I watched. I watched one of them more than the other. I don't remember which one it was.
Well, there was Teen Titans, and then there was Teen Titans Go, and then there's
Not
Young
Go.
Justice. Yeah.
I've seen episodes of Go, and that's kind of more along Luna's speed of, although I wish she wouldn't watch that one either, but
So yeah. So Lex was talking to Connor. He's just like, yo, I created you to fulfill like my own dream of being Superman. Okay. Because like all fathers do when they can't do things themselves, they put it on their kids. So like, yeah. It
was also just like wanting to be him, but also trying to kill him like over the last like how many years.
Yeah. So then we got more Sebastian stuff.
Stop defending it. Stop defending it. It only seems good because they're silly. And it's really only Beast Boy that makes it. Robin is still a little shit on that show.
So, like I said, we got more Sebastian stuff. There's some creepy reflection stuff. And then Lex starts spewing blood out of his mouth. Big ass snake comes out his mouth. And then he dies.
That shit was crazy. I also did not anticipate them killing Lex Luthor in the first episode.
That's assuming he's actually dead and stays dead.
That is true, because I was just like, does Lex Luthor ever really stay dead? I feel like this man has been
Does
killed or
anybody ever really stay dead? Like,
no. They know their lane, they thrive in it, Beast Boy Cyborg.
yeah.
That's what
Wow.
this team is missing. They're still missing a cyborg.
Cyborg's on the other show.
Oh, okay, so then I do really just need to watch the other one too.
Yeah, just watch Doom Patrol, and then you'll get Cyborg.
Gotcha. Oh, that's gonna be so nice when they all get together. Gar's gonna get his best friend. But
Everything all right over there?
yeah, I was trying to clear a blockage from something.
No, I was talking about the background noise.
Oh, that's laughing.
Okay. So anyway, yeah, all this stuff that's happening is also making Rachel go nuts.
Who 5 minutes later just comes back to consciousness, like, what happened?
Yeah. But yeah, that was the end of episode 1.
They took out Lex Luthor.
Mm-hmm.
But we see Bennett downstairs, and she's like, and she repeats her sentence where she says, someone always pays.
Mm-hmm.
And I should have known that I should have known that was going to be a thing from her. That was going to come back around.
Yeah. So then we got,
and then it starts episode 2.
Yeah, episode 2.
Because HBO knew I was still sitting there. It's called Mother Mayhem.
Oh, well, yeah, there we go. See, here's what's happening. Mother Mayhem's happening this episode, all right? Here you go.
Yeah.
So it kicks off with this kid just playing, this handheld game. Starts glitching out. Then there's blood on the windows. Scary masked dude, creepy ass is back. Kills the mama, drags away the daddy.
I thought the kid was also killed, and I was just like, damn, that's crazy. But this is HBO, so everything is off limits.
Exactly.
So.
It would not have surprised me if the kid actually was killed. So
if it was a CW, they'd be like, no, we can't kill the kids.
Right. Connor gets arrested for killing Lex, but we know he didn't do it.
You telling me there's no cameras up in that bitch? None?
Sure, in Lex's private rooms? No, probably not. I'm sure he's got cameras everywhere else, but...
Which is weird to call it private because Dick was able to see him from that building in the window.
Yeah.
I mean, not that you could really see what's happening in that room, so, like, benefit of the doubt, like, you really couldn't, like, intrude. It's just kind of one of those things of, like, that room, I guess, feels like public enough that I feel like some kind of security camera would be in, like, some sort of vicinity.
Maybe.
Who knows? But, I was just kind of just like, something about that. Something about that. But yeah, they arrest him, which sucks.
Yeah.
For Connor. Wait, sorry. I was upset they were only giving the woman the smoke.
Yeah, because the masked dude only killed the girlfriend, then killed the wife. But I'm just
it's feeling very targeted. It's feeling very unsafe to be a woman.
Yeah, but then when you saw what was happening to the dudes, they were just getting their blood drained slowly.
Oh, well, hell yeah. And then I was like, oh, no, actually, I'm happy to have a vagina because I wouldn't be being drained like this.
Mm-hmm. Because, yeah. We know the father survived. We don't know about the rest. So anyway.
Oh,
true. Yeah, so we find out later on somebody's been watching Corey.
Great timing of comment.
Yeah, somebody's been watching Corey, and Dick is like, yeah, somebody's been watching you. I don't know who, but I have an address here. And so she goes to check that out.
Even though it may be a trap, but she's like, I got this.
Yeah, what's new? Then we got Gar and Tim out in the woods. I guess, Tim doing some training on how to track and shit.
That's what it seems like.
Yeah. Let's see.
And then Gar hears
Yeah,
voices and
starts
takes
hearing
off.
voices. Yeah, then he almost transforms and passes out. Let's see.
I can't wait to see that. I will say, I really kind of can't wait to see that kind of be resolved.
See what's happening there. Why
With
he's
Gar, yeah, like because they didn't really resolve what happened to him last season. Like he just got away.
and they got him to listen to them and not be controlled anymore. But he's still they like rearranged shit in his brain. Like
Yeah, like
it
I
wasn't
feel like
normal hypnotism and nothing like that. They literally went into his brain and moved shit around. Like
yeah, like they reprogrammed something in him, and it's just like I want to see that get resolved because I feel like it's taking a long time to get that resolved, but it's also because it's been like a year and a half since the last season. So in my time, it's taking a long time to resolve. In their time, it's been 2 hours and a few days.
So yeah, so Corey finds this dude that's been investigating her, but turns out it wasn't him. He just was like, I don't know what this is. I just knew some shit was happening.
Nelson Blake.
Yeah. Apparently it wasn't just Lex that died though. His whole inner circle died that night, except for this Blake dude.
And I was like, well, that's not going to be much longer.
Exactly.
Now that you said that, like, as soon as he said, I'm the only one who's left alive, and I was like, not much longer.
Not for long, yeah. And like he says nobody from that inner circle has had any contact with Lex for over a year. And like once he had the kryptonite poison, he was trying to figure it out for a while, but then after some point, he stopped trying to fight the disease and started trying to overcome death itself. And
I was like, that sounds like a very Lex Luthor thing to do.
So that's some Lex shit.
And then, it was like he got caught up in the occult. He mentioned an archaeologist, and I was like, that's probably Miss Bennett.
Yeah. And soon after that, he dies just like Lex, snake out the mouth, and then Corey eviscerates the snake.
And he hears the chanting. Did we hear if Lex heard the chanting, or did he just start choking?
I think Rachel heard the chanting. I don't know if Lex heard the chanting. So I think it may have been implied that they all heard it, but I only remember Rachel hearing it. But yeah, she incinerates the snake, and it's just like, yo, why do y'all keep like turning the snakes to ash and like?
Thank you.
Not
maybe that's why he was drinking so much. Well, so because Amani's pointed out Lex didn't hear chanting, and I was like, maybe that was all the drinking. I mean, like he had a drink with Corey. I mean, he had a drink, I think, before Corey got there. He had a drink with Corey. He had a drink when Connor was there, and then he was refilling the drink. I was like, maybe he's drinking to drown out the chanting.
Maybe that was just like on The Imperfects. Did you watch it? No, you may not have seen it. The Imperfects on the fuck?
Ignore it.
Anyway, somebody on The Imperfects on Netflix, like she had these crazy hearing and all that kind of stuff, and it was going nuts, and the way she drowned it out, she would drink, and it made the kind of crazy hearing go away for a while. But Imperfects is another good one. You should watch that. It's on Netflix. Okay.
Is that live action or animated?
It's live action.
Okay, I think I've seen it. I think I've seen it come up on my homepage.
So then we got Dick and Rachel. They're searching Lex's penthouse to try to figure out what happened. She can sense the magic that killed Lex. She can also see where the killer has been.
She touches where Lex died and sees the house.
So like, okay, well, let's go to this house. And then we got Sebastian with his mama, so we see his mama, and we're like, oh, okay, well, this is not going to end well.
They were talking about a girl, and they were like, "Where's Julie? I love her." And I was just like, I'm assuming Julie has left or is gone.
Yeah, she left him because she was not with whatever he was doing. Probably found the taxidermy thing a little weird, and she just like, know what? Nope.
Like, nope, this ain't my thing.
So yeah, then the crew, minus Connor who's in jail and Corey, they go in the house checking shit out, and
Rachel finds the mom, and it ain't pretty.
yeah, first they see that bloody apple here, but dead mama. And then they find the girl like on the floor in her room, like convulsion and shit, because she's having a crazy nightmare. So Rachel goes in to help, like all up in the nightmare.
I'm loving seeing Raven's powers go into work.
Yeah, we've been waiting for a while for her to really like do her thing and like be Raven. So that's good to see.
Sebastian.
Oh man. So yeah, creepy mask dude is in the nightmare.
And she names him Boneface Man.
Yeah. So and while this is happening, Corey's talking to Connor about Lex. There's that whole conversation. Really didn't get much out of it. Just
that, like, she reaffirmed, like, he don't owe anything, and he's his own person pretty much to make his own choices.
Mm-hmm. So then Sebastian is doing his pitch, and this is when I said I was like, oh, this is disappointing. It was just for a mobile game. And the folks,
they were just like, this isn't really competitive.
And he's like, well, it's not meant to be competitive. It's just meant for people to like, come together and blah, 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 blah. And it was just like, yeah, this ain't what we do though. So nah.
I feel like Raven has only tapped into 8.1% of her powers. Like only Starfire has tapped into 8.1%. I'm actually kind of like with Starfire only having tapped into 8.1% of her kinetic energy, and already having penetrated through like, the heart, the toughest.
Prometheum.
Prometheum. It's just like I'm scared to see what she'll be like at 50%.
Yeah.
And that's 42%. That's 40.9% to go.
Yeah. So he starts seeing blood everywhere again and just runs out the room because he's not okay. Then they make fun of him after he leaves, which I'm just like, y'all gonna regret that.
That's what I said. I literally said, I was just like, oh, something bad gonna happen to them.
Yeah. Y'all gonna start seeing bloody shit too. So then
they get led to a slaughterhouse.
Yeah, the whole team minus Connor goes to this place looking for, creepy mask dude. And there's bodies being drained by blood, like we were talking about before. But we see that, the black dude from before and the father are still alive at this point. We know the father pulled all the way through. We weren't given, a follow-up on the black dude if he, made it through or not. Then we got a creepy mask dude versus Raven fight. Then we see like, yo, it's that dude.
She had a great use of get fucked.
Yeah.
And it was, I thought it was Bernard for a hot second when the mask came off.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, is that Bernard?
No, it's the dude that you thought was the Shade.
Yeah. I was just like, damn. The dude that Tim kind of likes and the dude all up in Starlabs was it? Damn, this is crazy. Yeah. Why?
Yeah.
Well, so I was gonna say my theory. What was I saying before? What was my theory about?
I don't know. You didn't tell me.
No, what was it in regards to? I know it was about the Bone-Faced Man. Oh, when the Nelson dude had said that Lex had gotten caught up in like occult stuff. Like I figured the physician dude was part of that and was part of the shit of whatever, Mother Mayhem is doing.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that was it.
What I was saying before was I didn't know who the villain actually was. Like if he was somebody from the comics that I should have recognized, but I didn't recognize.
Oh, I was thinking of it more as the shit that he was doing, either him as himself or like the powers he was doing and stuff like that was something that they had summoned from something dark.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I figured that. It was just I just wasn't sure of, if he was a villain with a name that I would have known from before.
Mm.
So yeah, Rachel starts winning that fight and he ends up setting himself on fire for some reason because he don't want to lose. I don't know.
Same reason why Nazis had cyanide pills.
Yeah, I guess. Um, then we see Sebastian's mother is dead. He gets the news from Mother Mayhem, who is disguised as someone who actually like works in the home that she lives in.
Can't wait to find out why him.
Yeah, and like I don't know why you didn't have to kill his mama though. Like,
right?
It was unnecessary
Because
clearly you killed his mama. Like,
right? Because when she said, "Oh yeah, poor thing passed this morning," I was just like, "Passed this morning? She was fine the day before." The "you won't take me alive" concept.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, then we got Dick talking to the little girl after her. Oh yeah, from Dark Knight. Yeah.
Oh yes, nurse.
Mm-hmm.
She left him in there to grieve.
Mm-hmm.
She stood outside and she was like, "We got him."
Yeah. So then we got Dick talking to the little girl who, mama died. Like, yo, the father's gonna, yeah. So her father's gonna be all right. He gives her a whole little pep talk, like, yeah, when my parents died, it was real rough on me too. Then the guy came and told me I was gonna be all right. Time will heal things and blah blah. And then he put this jacket around my shoulder, and he did the same thing for her. And he was like, and explaining to her the difference between good magic and bad magic and all that kind of stuff.
Because she was just like, I see that Rachel also has powers. Is she gonna be a problem?
Yeah, he's like, nah, she does good magic, so she all right. But yeah, after all that happens, yeah, that did happen. She coughed into her handkerchief and stuffed it in her sleeve, and yeah, Amani was very bothered by that. She thought it was very gross.
Well, I mean, old people do gross shit, so
yeah. He was comforting the girl. He was not trying to Bruce the situation. All right.
Yeah, whatever. That little girl, one is going to be scared to sleep for years to come. I know she's going to be scared to sleep. She's like, yeah, I ain't trying to have that man come back for me ever.
Yeah, they're gonna have to drug her for her to go to sleep because she's not gonna do
it. And then on top of, and then when she's able to find a way to sleep, she's gonna go for vengeance. She's gonna find Dick and be like, train me.
So then, after all this happens, apparently Connor's set free because they realize like, oh, he didn't do this shit, and they're just riding down the street in their RV, and Mother Mayhem is just in there doing crazy lightning shit, and now there's a fight
on the street.
Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, well, now we got to fight, so they fight, and the fight is not going well for them. Like, she absorbed all of.
I do get it.
Yeah, okay. She absorbs like all Rachel's power. Her and Starfire do a little blasting face-off thing where they blasting at each other, and Mother Mayhem disappears.
What percent do you think Corey went up to for this?
I think that was just her 8.1%. I don't know if she like really figured out how to untap everything yet or untap more, So we'll see though. But yeah, Mother Mayhem disappears after there's like an explosion and shit. Like Rachel's hair turned white and her stone on her forehead disappears. I'm like, wait a minute, is Trigon gonna get loose now? Like, what the fuck is happening?
What if that's all this is leading to all over again?
I'd be like, what the fuck? Then there's some more chanting and cult shit.
That was very Harry Potter of them again too.
A little blasting back and forth thing between
yeah. Because it was like it's like they took the same, and they really possibly could have, because it's WB shit. Like they just took the same animation from Harry Potter Deathly Hallows Part 2 when Harry and Voldemort were going against each other and shit was closing in. It was so easy to just take that and just put it there and just change the coloring, I wouldn't put it past you. I'm watching you, WB. I'm on to your secrets because I know Disney does it. Disney does it notoriously for a lot of their movies. You ever notice that Baloo dances, I think, the same way, like I think another movie
Jungle
did?
Book and Robin Hood, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kings of doing that shit. I would not put it past WB.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so that more chanting cold shit, Sebastian hears it, and that's the end of the episode.
Oh yeah, they're over here chanting Azarath Mentry on Zinthos. I'm not gonna say that 3 times because I'm scared my lights might go out if I do.
But yeah, that was this week's Titans. So yeah,
I'm excited for this season to come.
Yeah, I am. I am as well. I enjoy this show thoroughly. But Mara,
always a good time.
Who's winning this week?
Mother Mayhem. I'm not even going to include Stargirl as having any semblance of a winner.
Yeah. But yeah, who's losing?
Lux.
Yeah, I guess Diane does qualify as losing here. I was gonna say Courtney's dumbass, but
Diane kind of does supersede that.
Yeah.
She will live to see tomorrow.
Yeah.
She just lost her boyfriend.
Definitely.
I was almost gonna say not Travis. Rachel.
How?
I was writing your name for under winning and losing.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying what I'm reading. I was almost gonna say Rachel, but I was like, Rachel will live. She's just kind of useless to the team now.
For now.
For now, right? Like her shit will, like the show will continue, and she'll get her shit back. Lex is dead.
Yeah. But yeah. Yeah. All right. So I guess that'll be it for this week's episode of Super Flashy Arrow of Tomorrow. Don't forget, you can follow us on both Twitter and Instagram at The Creatia World. That is at ITSCREATIA World. As always, I'm not telling you how to spell world if you don't know.
Creatia World and then spelled out It's Creatia.
Did I?
Yeah.
Okay. It's Creatia World. Sorry, we were The Creatia World for so long. My bad.
I was like reading it because you said it, and I was like, oh no. And then you started spelling it, and I was like, well, I mean, that's right. So
yeah, at It's Creatia World. ITSCREATIA World, as always. Not telling you how to spell world. Also, on Facebook at facebook.com/Creatia World. We also have a Facebook group for this particular podcast. Mara, what's that Facebook group?
Facebook.com/group/Creatia Comics.
All right. And also, if you're a wrestling fan, don't forget to watch and listen to Smacking It Raw every week, featuring the Ward Matt Ritter and Vince Daddy Delgado. They have their own Facebook group, facebook.com/group/Smacking It Raw. And you can find me on both Twitter and Instagram at Lord_Cussalott. That is at LORD_CUSSALOTT. Mara, where can they find you?
Instagram and Twitter at Maradashark, MARADASHARK.
All right. Guess that'll be it for this week. We'll see y'all next week. Until then, we out.
Bye.